Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. How are you? How's everyone going on a Wednesday? What another day over over the pond, guys, in America. It's just cracking off over there. Every day, just more stuff coming out. The left's in a big spin over there. They just don't know what to do. You know, Trump's just picked up Arizona, Ohio the other day. Arizona today, 80%. Like, these guys just don't know what to do. I saw another thing, man, was actually we had an illegal over there who killed an illegal transgender. Now, yeah, I'm not laughing at anyone getting killed or shot at any guys, but if that's a real story, what a spin that's going to put the left in. Who do they take there, the illegal or the illegal transgender? I'd like to see. I'd like to see who they're going to back there. That's very interesting. Right, if you haven't seen it, Millie's come out with some stuff on. Look on the corporation and the board of directors, has Millie has called it. So, that's the American government. So that was quite interesting. We'll cover that in the show, guys. Trump's attorney is well under fire. That's because, they're just smashing Trump on MSM here and over there. She's now under fire. They're having a go at her. Everything's crap, guys. If there was anything on Trump's attorney, all right, the deep state would have had it out ages ago. All right, so there is nothing. That's just the way it is. This stuff going down with how they got the goods, which is going to come into Mike Pillow's case. All right, the lady that I spoke of yesterday that got arrested. All right, so all that is connected to the Mike Pillow's case in the Supreme Court. So maybe keep your eye on that too. Okay, that's the info that they're also running with there. So we got BRICS on fire, guys. Right, the BRICS side of things is just going off, and we got JP Morgan coming out and saying that the dollar's in for an inevitable crash. So, it's it's all happening just how we wanted to see it. Now we got a guy called. I was just having a look today, guys, around a few politicians because I'm going to go and front counsel about some stuff. All right, so I was having a look around. And I find this guy Adam Bant. All right. And Adam's from, he's a Greens leader. MP for Melbourne. Okay. And, this guy's got stuff like every fraction of a degree of warming we can stop makes our future safe, which means that every coal and gas project we can stop today matters too. We need to force Labor to put our future before big profits of polluting corporations. Now he's saying the climate records in Australia in 2023. I think this is Australia. But listen to this. Hottest year on record. What a load of bullshit. Hottest ocean heat. Hottest mean sea level. Lowest Antarctic ice sea level. All fueled by coal and gas. Yet Labor want more. I mean, these guys are just off their heads, So there's someone to look at down there, guys. Adam Bandt. Adam Bandt. So anyone in Melbourne, you want to be, guys, I'm going to talk about this on the space tonight, right? Councils and what's going on and stuff like that, okay? But, we need to be active and a bit more active from what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. But definitely here. Now, Kevin Rudd's also come out with stuff, but we're going to cover that on the show also. So, let's get into it. If Cazz is ready, we got plenty in there, I think. And, let's have a look.
All right. First of all, this is Chick on the weekend, and she was at she ran a stand at the park in Albury. So let's have a look.
Good morning, family. I'm going to flick this around straight away. As we're down on the Lincoln Causeway.
Very soft.
Was on the move.
Yeah, it is. It wasn't like that when I was bringing it in, but anyway. Show it a bit.
Beautiful. Well, it's not. It's tragic. But
just set it up in a single line, keep them closer together. Yes, they are double-sided, but people from the car park can see as well. Thank you, Julie and Louise, for coming down today. They're still hammering away here. The ground is pretty hard. Still got a few more to put in. The main car park for the visitors today is over in that paddock.
How cool is that? Targeting
That's
us a
nice.
place where people are visiting. That is so awesome.
Yep.
All right. Kicking off today's news, Senator Rennick is questioning the RBA.
Of you guys whatsoever.
Really?
I am concerned about that. I know you're probably not allowed to make a comment on that, but I have spoken to you previously about some of the disclosure and transparency issues I have with the RBA, notably the fact that you refused to disclose minutes for the International Bank of Settlements. You wouldn't disclose the findings of the 2013 audit report of our gold holdings in England, and it now turns out that I have the serial numbers of our gold bars, and many of them are refined post-2015. You had a subsidiary many years ago that was involved in paying bribes, I believe, to in foreign countries. I guess, and then of course, we've got the issue around the fact that you were more than happy to print $188 billion and lend it to the private banks at 0.15%, while the punters don't have that.
Go for it.
And I'd note your comments just then that monetary policy and fiscal policy should work together. And I guess my concern is that I believe that ultimately you're here to serve the people rather than serve the interest of foreign banks. And you've clearly put the interest of foreign banks ahead of the interests of the people, in my view, because you won't disclose the minutes of
Is there a question, Senator Rennick?
Yeah, my question is that do you think that the RBA should be completely removed from any oversight by the Parliament?
The question, I'll go to the Governor, but this question had been asked earlier, but I'll go to you, Governor.
Yeah, but I just wanted to put some context around their poor
You got a bit of context on the
and their
hand side
lack of ethical behaviour.
Governor.
If you're talking,
Did you hear that? You got a bit of context on the hand side.
Yep.
about the proposal to remove Section 11, I
commented earlier to Senator McKim that I'm agnostic on that. It's never been used in the past, but I think in effect we have as much independence as we need to do our job, and if Section 11 isn't removed and there's some oversight by Parliament, I can live with that.
Yeah, sure. It's probably the lack of oversight by the Parliament, really. You've got to wonder why we didn't do something like remove one of the RBA governors when it was found out that your subsidiary was actually bribing foreign countries.
All right. So, someone asked a question in there. Why does Guru want the dollar to smash? Guys, did you hear what Rennick just said then? Right? They just printed so many $1 billion to lend out at 1.5% out of thin air. You know what I mean? This is what this money is, guys. This fiat money. Sorry, but yeah, it does have to crash. All right, it has to come down. Okay, there is, there's other stuff coming, guys. All right, and it's just got to go down. We have to take down the devil's money, which is the cabal central banking system. All right, and unfortunately, this is why we're saying you be prepared. We don't know when. All right, but get ready because it has to happen. Right, we got to bring it down, guys. All right. We've got to bring it down. So that's the reason.
Well,
it's their filthy money.
Yeah, well, we do actually have here we have this one here where it says US banks announced it was shut 19 branches in just 1 week. So yeah, it's in the process of happening. Now, of course, we have Kevin Rudd. He tweeted back in 2020 of Donald Trump that he's the most destructive president in history. He drags America and democracy through the mud. He thrives on fomenting, not healing division. He abuses Christianity, church, and Bible to justify violence, all aided and abetted by Murdoch's Fox News network in America, which feeds this. All right, he was asked about that. Let's see what he says.
In Australia, we've got a Labour government in Australia. The previous ambassador, Joe Hockey, I think was quite a good friend of yours. You got on pretty well with him. Now they've appointed Kevin Rudd, former Labour MP. I mean, he has said the most horrible things. You were a destructive president, a traitor to the West. And he's now Australia's ambassador in Washington.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Would you take a phone call from him?
He won't be there long if that's the case. I don't know much about him. I heard he was a little bit nasty. I hear he's not the brightest bulb. But I don't know much about him. But if he's at all hostile, he will not be there long.
On that, let's just have a look at this.
Yeah.
Remember, please, that Jeffrey Epstein donated $650K to Kevin Rudd's International Peace Institute. Well, isn't that interesting?
Cool. Yeah. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see.
I wonder who that spy is they're talking about, or could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
wondering a bit about that one as well. Actually, I think that we all might have thought it was. Yeah, I think we might have. I'm sure it's more than one, but anyway.
And look at this chick. She stepped straight into it. Go, Cazz. Yeah, let her rip.
So Penny Wong, who was it's claimed by Dr. Li Mei Yan, who is a Chinese CCP asset, and here she is. So they've gotten rid of the head of ISIS and the head of ASIO, or sidelined them really, and sidelined them. And Penny Wong's going to take a more, pivotal role in our strategic interests. And it's coming. She's put on Twitter that Australia seeks a mature, stable, and productive relationship with China. Today, I welcome Forester Minister Wang Yi for the 7th Australia-China Foreign and Strategic Dialogue. Engagement and dialogue are important and enable us to pursue Australia's interests. Isn't that so good of her? She's pursuing Australia's interests, and they're doing it so well, because what's actually happening at the moment is we've got so many businesses that are going out, so many Australian businesses that are just basically going out of business, really.
Delivery service Providor has collapsed and will go into liquidation.
Australia's 12th biggest home builder, the Victorian-based Porter Davis Group, has collapsed into liquidation today.
Weight loss and fitness empire Jenny Craig is reportedly on the brink of collapse.
Thousands of Australian companies have disappeared over the past year, and experts say it's only going to get worse.
In essence, what we're anticipating is to see that households are going to need to switch their current expenditure from discretionary items to cover those higher mortgage bills, those higher rental payments. What that means is that overall economic activity is going to be flat or slightly negative.
A number of well-known retailers like luxury shoe chain Sneaker Boy, grocery app Send, and Australian confectionery company Sara Lee have folded lately, while the catastrophic collapse of investment firm Remy Capital also dominated news headlines. But it turns out those examples are just the tip of the iceberg, with Australia recording a staggering 5,520 liquidations or administration appointments across all industries from 2022 to 23 financial year, a 17.2% increase from 4,710 the year before. The construction sector led the charge, making up 1,709, or representing 30.9% of the total number of insolvency appointments as of April 2023.
Around 50% of building companies have lost money overall in the past 12 months. If that's allowed to continue, that will lead to insolvency, which will then lead to ultimately bankruptcy.
Some of the biggest construction companies to fall include the likes of Porter Davis, ProBuild, Pivotal Homes, Quattro, and more recently EQ Constructions in New South Wales. There were 3,283 collapses in New South Wales, with Victoria recording 2,142, Queensland 1,459, Western Australia 556, South Australia 304, 121 for the ACT, for Tasmania 38, and 40 in the Northern Territory. Firms from countless other industries have also failed in the face of soaring inflation and interest rate pressures, COVID chaos, labour shortages, and supply chain disruptions. According to consumer credit reporting agency Equifax, the total number of construction and non-construction companies entering external administration in Australia is concentrated mainly across the eastern seaboard. With the higher cost of mortgage rates, fuel, food, and electricity, this is putting downward pressure on domestic spending, which in turn affects businesses across Australia with no end in sight.
All right, so what,
home delivery service,
guys, what you're seeing there,
collapsed.
what you're seeing is actually, and this is another one, so a builder operating in 2 Australian states collapses after 50 years. It was worth 120 million. So what you're seeing is, it's actually Project Coordination Australia has offices in Wollongong.
There's other ones going down.
I want to get your thoughts, Pauline, on what the national...
Yeah, so they've listed a whole heap of them here as well, which is just terrible. So, guys, what you're seeing is, as I've talked to... Yeah?
Yep. Go. I'll come in after you.
All right, so what we're going into, we're moving into a hyperinflation depression where the cost of living is getting more and more because they're printing more money, and so therefore the costs are going up, escalating up and up and up. And basically there's a depression coming down because there's no income. So it's it's not good. And as I said before, this is a vertical integration. So what they're doing is they're vertically integrating us like they would a company. So they don't need to use soldiers, although they have them. And if you actually have a look here, so we've actually got the.
Don't go there yet.
Okay, all right, you go then.
Yeah. So guys, this is exactly what COVID was all about. All right, exactly what COVID was all about. Right, was bringing it down. Now I've already told you the inside info that what they're going to do, right, is stop the residential building. Okay, it's going to get wiped out, guys. They're going to cease it out. All right, they're pushing their plans harder now. It was supposed to be, by 2030. Now, supposedly, they've come back to 2026. All right, no more residential building. That means no more houses. This is how fast these guys are going to go. But they're bringing it in. You're seeing them do it with the gas now on new housing and stuff. All right, but this is where they're going. Now, the high rise that's going on, people are going to go bust. But guess who's going to pick it up? Cabal companies. Okay, and that's what you're going to see happen. The only companies that now, why is it up and down the eastern seaboard again? Because of the smart cities. All right, they know how to do this, guys. And this is why it is imperative that we get into our communities and we stop this shit, because it's coming down pretty hard at you. All right, and it is. All right, but as I say, on the other side of this, we already want to be somewhere where we've infiltrated them. We've got into their councils. We're ready to go. You know, we got a lot of people that are unaware of what's going on, people. A lot. Okay.
And we've got this situation as well. Chris Sky has put this one out on the rezoning in Canada.
These new little mini cities that they call districts, where your building is going to have 500 or 600 units for living, then it's going to have office space, then it's going to have retail, all in the same building. Meanwhile, it's only going to have a few parking spaces. They're literally putting huge signs in the streets, and they all look exactly the same, and it says City of Toronto rezoning, and they are all identical. You'll see a building that was there previously getting torn down, and you're going to see what they call a mixed-use development, and it has residences on top, office buildings and retail in the middle and the bottom, and then almost no infrastructure for parking. There's not even enough parking for the people living there. You're supposed to live upstairs, work somewhere in the building, go to the gym or your Starbucks or your grocery store, everything in the building. So basically, you're living on lockdown your entire life, just like they wanted you to do with COVID. Remember with COVID when you were on lockdown and they said you couldn't go more than 5 kilometers away from your house? Well, if you don't have a car, guess what? You're never going to go more than 5 kilometers away from your house. And that's what the 15-minute city is designed to do.
I say no more. I rest my case. I rest my case.
It's pretty shocking. Look, Punter's Paradise has weighed into it again, and we just love his stuff, so I'm playing that now.
Pay off $1,000 off my student HECS debt. There you go. Oh, hang on, what? I gave you $1,000. What? Inflation? Well, joke's on you, because we have a Prime Minister that's from Housing Commission, and he knows what it's like to have a student debt, don't you, Albo? What? You went to uni for free? Oh, come on. Okay. I'm sure that it's just really expensive and too unrealistic for any countries in the world to be providing their citizens with free university. I'm sure it's not. Except for Germany and Norway and Sweden and Poland, Chile and Mexico, Latvia. Even New Zealand get 1 year free university? New Zealand! Okay, sorry, my mistake. I thought Australia was a wealthy country because mining is the backbone of our economy and we make lots of money from our minerals we sell to... that makes the private corporations that mine our minerals super wealthy and we get not much from that. Albo, is this true? Do you get more money from Aussie students than you do from selling our resources? All right, Albo, that's it. I'm gonna like this video. I'm gonna comment on this video. No, I'm gonna share this video on all my social media channels. Yo, you're gonna regret that. You know what? That's it. I'm gonna sign a petition.
He's right.
He's right. Look, there's this guy, and he's living in the USA, and he visited his parents who are living in Canada. And he has actually come out and he's actually put this out.
What the hell is going on in Canada right now? I am home visiting my parents this weekend for the holidays. I live in the West Village in New York City. The highest cost of living yuppie area ever in the history of the United States. I am never shocked when I get a dinner bill. I'm never shocked when I go on vacation. Nothing phases me. I've traveled all over the world. Tell me why I come home to Newmarket, Ontario, the suburbs of Toronto, and I'm shocked at the cost of living here. How are Canadian people making it work? Everybody involved with the economy right now needs to be fired immediately. We need to contact the UN and get a binding resolution here. Something sinister is going on in Canada, and I'm determined to get to the bottom of it. What?
Yes, it is. It's called You're the Carbon that they need to get rid of.
Yep, that's exactly right. And contact the UN, you just get knocked off. So, yeah.
That's it. All right. We've also got this situation where another federal poly in Victoria has died of cancer within the 3-month period. So you've had Peter Murphy died on the 4th of December 23, and Linda White died on the 29th of February 2024. Now, this is followed on, of course, by the latest scientific findings. We've got Peter McCulloch, and he's talking about women dying while...
How could the entire FDA, the National Institutes of Health, the CDC, and they said, you know what? They said vaccinate the women anytime during pregnancy. Anytime. Doesn't matter. We now have, in a paper by Hoyert and colleagues from the National Center of Health Statistics, record maternal mortality. starting in 2021. It's going up. It's erased 4 decades of progress in obstetrics. Pregnant women are dying with the baby in the womb. And the U.S. National Center for Health Statistics considers a maternal death during the 9 months of pregnancy and up to 42 days afterwards.
All right, so we've got that, and we've also got this situation where the Japanese researchers have been warning about the risks associated with blood transfusion from the COVID mRNA vaccine. So you have that. Now, on top of that, you've also got Andrew Brigden in the UK. He has tabled all of the deaths that are going on in the UK, and I'm just looking for that long-term sickness. So there's, sorry, not deaths, long-term sickness.
The number of long-term sick has risen from 2.1 million pre-pandemic to 2.8 million today. The huge increase started in spring 2021, at the same time as the rollout of the experimental emergency use vaccines. Or does the Minister have an alternative explanation for the unprecedented rise in long-term sickness in the UK since spring 2021?
All right, so you've got that. But also, now I've been told, I don't know how true it is, that a 1% death rate rise in excess deaths triggers an automatic investigation. Australia's at 27% according to Hansard, what was tabled and is recorded in Hansard, and yet everyone's trying to cover it up.
They don't want people to know about it, but guess what? Everybody's starting to know about it because everyone's getting affected, guys. All right, the turbo, the cancers, everything else that's going on, okay? It's going to be a bludgeoning health department, okay? Yep, look at this. Here we go. I just talked. I was about to talk about it. Here we go. Yep.
Yeah, no, well, Victorian hospitals are in dire financial straits. The situation has been exposed. And you've also got the leaked data reveals Victorian hospitals are strapped for cash. Okay, and then you've also got this one from South Australia. More than 20,000 people are currently waiting for elective surgeries in South Australia. So this is a situation. Now, what that guy said about these people who are in charge of our economy need to be sacked. Oh my God, that's so correct. These people who have been in charge for the last couple of years, they need to be held to account.
They all need to be held to account, and this is what, you know, we're going to talk about it on the space tonight, guys, but I'll tell you again, if you are not at your local council meeting, all right, you are letting these guys run rockshot over you, all right? Because, I blew out on Monday night. These people are just sitting in their buildings passing laws wherever they want because you're not there. But anyway, we'll talk about it on the space. I'm not going to, have another rant, but, I'm going to have a rant in the space probably. Anyway.
All right. Well, you've also got the Royal Reporter, or BBC reporter admits that the Royals are using a body double. Really?
Really? Nobody picked it.
None of us knew that.
No. Wow, that's top-notch news, that, Every one of us knew it.
This is what you mentioned on your run-in, and it's important to listen to this. Listen carefully, guys.
Oh, yeah.
To both of you, to General Milley, do you think that these documents should be turned over to the United States Congress? And do you think that both General Donahue and Admiral Vasely should testify before Congress?
Sure, I absolutely do. I believe transparency. You're the board of directors for this corporation called the American government. And I believe that you're entitled to those within the bounds of classification. You're the board of directors for this corporation called the American government. You're the board of directors for this corporation called the American government.
Let's just pause that. You are the board of governors for this American corporation called the U.S. government.
Directors for this corporation called the American government.
Somewhere beyond the sea.
All right, pause that. All right.
Yeah, that is big, guys. All right. Now, is Millie a white hat, a black hat? Who in the hell is Millie? Okay, so this is just crazy. You as I say, you just can't, you can't write this stuff. It's just incredible. You know what I mean? Look at this this is Millie we're talking about. Like, anyway, yep, we'll work it out. We'll get shown.
All right, there's been a lot of stuff about the solar eclipse that's coming up on the 8th of April, but this one I thought was actually very interesting and very well researched, and a lot of this stuff I did not know.
And listen, I'm about to tell you some things about the eclipse that you have not heard yet. No, I'm not going to talk about how it forms the Aleph or the Tav, or how it goes through all the cities of Nineveh. More importantly, I'm going to talk about something in our past. Did you know that in 1811 we had a solar eclipse that was preceded 2 weeks earlier by a partial lunar eclipse? This is the second solar eclipse that we had in the early 1800s. The reason this is important is because following these, in the year 1811, we had earthquake, over 2,000 to be exact, followed by 6,000 to 10,000 in the Bootheel of Missouri, where the New Madrid fault line is. You should pause and read this because you'll see that we had some as strong as 8.8 in the series following the solar eclipse. Here's where it starts to get interesting. It states that the Mississippi River ran backwards for 3 hours, as well as many other earthquake phenomena. I bet you didn't hear about that in history class. Stay with me because this is where it gets interesting. There was sand boils, seismic tar balls, earthquake lights, earthquake smog, thunder, and animal warnings. I suggest you pause and read those to see.
All right, now I did actually do a screen grab for you. Okay, so sand boils. The world's largest sand balls were created. So it actually redirected whole things to create a sand beach, like rivers, seismic tar balls, earthquake lights. So lights flashed up from the ground caused by quartz crystals being squeezed. And tar balls are actually solidified petrol coming up from the ground. It caused warm water to be thrown, lukewarm water to come up, earthquake smog, which you'll go into, loud thunder, and animal. So a lot of the domestic animals started to behave really wild, and the wild animals started to look for shelter. It was a very strange thing. So we'll go back to that.
What's really interesting is the earthquake smog. It says the skies turned dark during the earthquakes, so dark that the lighted lamps didn't help, and the air smelled bad, and that it was hard to breathe. I suggest you just pause and read some of the scriptures that I put here before continuing on, because I'm trying to make this as short as possible. Now, I'm sure you know that the Devil comet will also be visible during the April 8th solar eclipse. What's interesting is there was also a comet that came through during the 1811 solar eclipse. The Tecumseh comet is what they called it. Now, of course, they say that this comet only comes around once every 3,065 years, but I do have something interesting to add to this. The Devil comet, or as they call it scientifically, the Pons Brooks, orbits the sun every 71 years. Since we will see it this year in 2024 with the eclipse, we can do a little backwards math, and if you look, it actually goes back to the last time we saw it as the year 1811. Of course, they wouldn't lie to us about history there, right? Remember when I mentioned earlier that the solar eclipse of 1811 was preceded 2 weeks earlier by a lunar eclipse? Well, wouldn't you know it, exactly 2 weeks prior to the April 8th solar eclipse, we will have a lunar eclipse on March 25th. Those earthquakes were called the Great New Madrid earthquakes, and of course we know that the path goes right over the New Madrid fault line for the eclipse of April 8th. Maybe they do have reasoning for stationing National Guard, canceling schools, putting out radiation units. I mean, who knows what's in that earthquake smog that's going to dark out the sky, not to mention how that also ties into more scripture. I know I find it odd that I never heard about any of those crazy things that happened during those earthquakes. You would think that would be a big part of history, knowing that some of these occurrences have happened. Of course, do with this information what you will. I do believe that this also ties in with the cities named Nineveh, the sign of the prophet Jonah, and of course all of the things we see coming through the 40 days that we're going to have to repent.
Interesting. Now, what's also interesting is this lady watches the stars as with the constellations, and she's found that the sun is in the wrong spot. Now, the moon I was outside last night for a while, and the moon was doing strange things. It wasn't in the right spot, nor was it the right shape. So there's odd things going on in the skies as well.
Technology for AI to
Oh, sorry, wrong one. That's the AI one. Let me grab the Aries one. Sorry, I had a bit of trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it's this is all biblical, guys. This is incredible, man.
Crazy, my friends. Okay, I told you back in September the sun was not where it should be. And I explained it doesn't have anything to do with the actual calendar day, month, name of the month of the calendar. This is about where the sun is in the sky. Okay, we're told that the solar eclipse is supposed to be in Aries, take place in Aries during a new moon, obviously. And by April 8th, if you do a projection on any of your apps, first of all, if you look at your app, it'll show you the sun hasn't even entered into Pisces. It's barely entered into Pisces right now. It shouldn't be in Pisces. Okay? In the middle of March, it should be just about to enter into Aries, March 21st to April 19th, I think. So the sun's not where it should be to begin with, but we're told that the solar eclipse is supposed to happen on April 8th in Aries, but the sun and the moon, if you do a projection, are projected to be in Pisces together, and they're not even aligned on April 8th.
So she's basically saying that they're not. So it's getting very, very interesting at the moment. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and you got to kind of wonder what's going on, you know.
Don't get distracted, like Donovan Gall just said. Don't get caught up in all the hype, guys. All right, just continue. This is all entertaining. All right, yeah, it is entertaining. All right, it is. It's great. It's fascinating. It's biblical. All right, but yeah, we got our eye on the prize, which is to go and get our freedom back. Okay, through our local councils.
Dave, look at this one. So, Supreme Court bar exam will no longer be required to become an attorney in Washington State. Now, what do you think that is about?
Oh, I know what it's about. Yeah, so they're saying that you don't have to. So they're working their way away from the bar, guys. All right, we're seeing all of Britain go down now. Right, we're seeing what happened. This has all been in the workings for a long time. Okay, but finally, we're starting to see all these things coming out now. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's all getting back to what it should be. All right. You are not going to have to sit a bar. The bar is going to be taken out. So yeah, very interesting, Caz. We knew all this was coming. I've spoken about this for a long time now about, the flag. I just heard the flag mentioned the other day. You know how that's a big thing.
Yeah, and they're saying here that following Oregon, Minnesota, Nevada, South Dakota, and Utah are examining your alternative pathways to license, which is fascinating. So, yeah, no,
yeah. Well, I said some of the American attorneys had been sent back to Scotland for retraining. I said, that was 6 months ago. I think I told you that. Yeah, back to Scotland. Why Scotland? Anyway.
All right, very good. Now, this lady has put out something that I find really fascinating, and we actually know this because I think we've put it up there before about the AI, and she's got something that's very interesting.
Technology for AI to read your mind started in Singapore.
Artificial intelligence read our minds. Researchers from National University of Singapore say they have developed technology that can do just that.
What else is in Singapore?
Nation are you a citizen? Singapore.
The government doesn't want to ban or sell TikTok because they think it's a threat to Americans' national security. They want to ban or sell TikTok because they want access to the technology that has the capability of potentially reading people's minds. And it's not to keep you safe, and it's not to help you become a better American citizen. It's because they want that technology so that they can use it against you. There was always something missing with the TikTok ban until I'd watched that video. Now it all makes sense. And I'm not saying that China is never going to use it nefariously, but I am saying absolutely the United States government would use that technology nefariously. Sons of bitches. They're missing out on money, sure, but it's not about the money. They want this technology that they've been working on in Singapore.
You think the military industrial complex hasn't got that technology already? You're kidding yourself.
Yeah. That's right. They have got it, but it's just yeah, it's really interesting. So, all right, so we're at look. I just wanted to bring this in because I'm not sure if we played it the other day, but this is interesting about Trump.
I don't want to say, but you'd be surprised.
I don't want to say, but you'd be. I don't want to say, but you'd be surprised. The question was, do you know who Q Anonymous is?
Yeah, well, we know who Q is and we know who the Anons are. You know, I'm talking to them right now. These are all part of it. Yeah. Why is Antarctica banned from people going there? Well, that's the question that a lot of us patriots and awoke people would really love to know, bro. There was a world treaty signed, all right, back after Byrd went over, and from there on, no one's been allowed to go there except the elites and, you know, those heads of countries that are in touch with the military-industrial complex who run different weapons from down there to actually take out you useless eaters. I'll, you know, go do some research from there. But, yeah, Antarctica in a nutshell.
That's it.
Plenty going on.
We got some really good footage of some geoengineering that I wanted to play as well.
Really? Geoengineering? Well, Mr. Malcolm Roberts, he must be made of hoodies because he doesn't believe that we're getting sprayed by poisons. So we want a couple of, you know, very, very crucial bits of information to come in, guys, that we can maybe get over to him because he doesn't believe we're getting poisoned. You serious?
Well, there's a number of counties that have actually banned it, and that's where I got the. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's where that's come from.
We know it's there, all right? We've got all the evidence, all right? And that's what we're going to be putting over. So if anyone's got any, like, yeah, red hot, you know, you know, like that evidence that just goes, here it is, which, you know, we've got the, you know, the geoengineering, it's been, you know, registered, you know, they've told us they're doing it. You know, we've got proof that they're allowed to spray COVID-19 vaccines, but Mr. Roberts going, no, they're not doing anything to you. I mean, so anyway, these are the things that need to be opened up, guys. These are the things that we need to get in and talk to our councils about. All right, these are the conversations we need to have. Okay, so anyone watching from the windmills out there, the wind turbines in Illawarra, a couple of you people that are on the exec or whatever, just get hold of me, will you? We just need to have a chat on the quiet, you know what I mean, about council next month and a couple of things that we can go and chat to them about. So, yeah, that would be great, guys.
All right, Dave, this one as well. I know you want to comment on this one. So smart cars are reporting to the government. Insurance rates are up 26%. So what they're basically doing is they're monitoring your behaviour and they're basically dobbing you in. So if you're driving along and you're drinking a beer or having a smoke or whatever you're doing and that sort of stuff, so yeah, your insurance rates are going up. Okay.
Oh, it makes things like parking for the young people very interesting, doesn't it? Who's watching? You know, these cars are reporting back, guys. All right, they know if you're lighting a fag while you're driving and you got your eyes off the road. You know, they know if you're pulling on your vape, and you're not doing what you should be doing, or you got your hand on your phone or your girlfriend or whatever else. This is where it's going, guys. You know, dead set. This is, you know, these rules have been put in already. All cars by 26, I think it have to have this technology. They're rolling it out at the end of this year and into 25. By 26, every car will have eyes on you every time you get behind the wheel. Probably when you don't even get behind the wheel. There'll be cameras in these cars that'll be filming you going into your freaking front door, people. Okay? This is where they're going. This is where they want to go. It's friggin' insane. But anyway.
All right, Dave, you're a wrap up. And then we've got the world's best magic trick taking us out.
All right. the wrap up is, guys, we're seeing, I do believe that we're getting very, very close to a lot of disclosure for these people out there that we may call normies. And I know there's newer people coming into the show all the time. Please do not take offense by that. But yeah, you're seeing some really big cards get played here today. All right. Millie is obviously under the screw. All right. We know what Millie's been doing, if it's Millie at all. Okay. Whoever's playing Millie or whatever this is. Okay. But you're just seeing that's a big drop, guys. For Millie to come out and say something like that, that is just absolutely incredible. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They brought it into the chat this afternoon. I said, yeah, I've already got it. It's on the show. And they were just astounded, that. Now, that's a bit like our ASIO, Mike Burgess. And look what happened. He's coming out. Now he's been moved aside. Penny Wong straight in there, straight out the boxes. Straight out the boxes, guys, in with the Chinese, setting up the next lot of targets. All right, you just saw about our universities. Why do people come to Australia? All right, when there's such, you know what I mean? All these other universities out there, we got to pay for ours. And why do we have to pay for it? Because the amount of Chinese students we've got here, all working for the CCP. That's why our people can't get into our universities. Are you going to bring that up in your local council meetings? I don't know. But I tell you what, these guys are just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. All right, your building's going to go. Now you're told, I was just talking to a bloke who's built a house up the road here, not far away over in Woonona, and he's got to put $8,000, I think it was, worth of plants in his backyard. Council said, right, but then after 6 months, he can pull all those plants out if he wants and put anything he wants in there. Okay, but for 6 months, I wonder who you got to buy the plants through. Well, council. I'm just wondering. But this is what they're doing to you guys. You can't fart, mate, without these guys knowing about it. All right? They'll know whether you had eggs, chops, or friggin' bacon. And this is what they want. All right, so, yeah, let's I know you guys are awake, but come on, I don't know. I'm just rambling on. But, yeah, we've got to wake people up to this nonsense. And the way you're going to do that is to get people into your councils, to ask the hard questions, give them the evidence. I want to go in with a thumb drive if they'll let me in there so I can stick stuff up on their screens for them. But they only give you 3 minutes. Well, 3 minutes, eh? Well, I tell you what, if I got no thumb drive, I could get a lot of info out in 3 minutes. I'll tell you. But this is going to be very interesting in whether they even let me approach council, guys. They will not want me to speak because they know that I've got a head full of information and I've got factual information. They won't come near me. I still can't get phone calls back from our local members of parliament. They will not ring me. I don't know what you're scared about, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a phone call. What is your problem? You obviously got one, and I know these people. Ryan Park, what are you doing, man? Look at our health system, Ryan. And you're still letting people push the jab, and you're pushing the jab in certain places. People can't come back to work because they haven't had a jab, Ryan. In your health service, Ryan. Come on, Wollongong. I'm talking to you now. Wake up. Wake up. All right, you are sitting back, and I hope this is not every other council, guys, but you are sitting back, letting these people make decisions every month because no one is in the gallery. No one. Seriously. But anyway, that's my rant for the night, guys. Right, we've got to have a go. All right, we got to get out and make a difference. All right. So, yeah, every 4 weeks, I won't be on the show on a Monday night. Hopefully, I'll be in council, maybe getting to talk to them. But, yeah, ruffling their feathers. All right. So, anyway, we need to know, guys. We need to know what your local council's doing. Okay. And you need to know what they're doing. So I suggest you get on a website, find out when your next local council meeting is, right, and get talking to some people with the same ideas as you and the same beliefs, right, and the facts, all right, and we go in there, guys, and you go in with some numbers and you go in peacefully and you just talk your crap, right, or they talk their crap. You actually go and hit them with facts. But anyway, that's what, I'm going to be pushing, guys. We got to get in there. If this is happening all around Australia, no wonder we're getting nowhere. These guys are just doing what they want at will. All right. Good night, people. See you tomorrow night. See you on the space in 10 minutes now.
Oh.